In this video essay, I'm going to be talking about Call Me By Your Name. This 2017 film follows 17-year-old Elio and 24-year-old Oliver in their relationship over the course of a summer in Italy. I'll be focusing on Oliver and his character development that shows us he is actually not the conventionally masculine character he seems to be in the beginning. This will be helped with these two sources. To start off with, let's go over the whole idea of masculinity in cinema. People like to show strong men on screen who objectified women, were often emotionally repressed, or always driven by sex. The masculine identity was still so relevant in the 90s, with Alison Butler using Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino that came out in 91, saying that it used extreme violence, narcissism and misogyny that became a stock-in-trade for young filmmakers. Unfortunately, while this is true for many, filmmakers who have been around for a while have their own staple style, and luckily for us, Luca Guadagnino, I am so sorry, is able to show off something other than violence. He shows off true and realistic masculinity. To begin with, we're going to talk about the tour scene, as some may call it. Stella Bruzzi says that the construction of idealised masculinity comes from the synchronisation of different elements. So we've got style, narrative, mise-en-scène. This is really accurate, especially in this scene where we see Oliver through his costume, dialogue and body language. Firstly, Oliver's costume. He has his shirt unbuttoned, he wears his sunglasses to kind of hide any emotion in his eyes, he's got his backpack slung over one shoulder as he rides his bike alongside Elio, almost as a prop to project his confidence. This clearly indicates a nonchalant and carefree attitude, almost arrogance though. We then move to a long shot of the two, and the fact that he's significantly taller and broader reinforces his role as this alpha male. All the body does is present us with complicated information, says Catherine Angie. In this scene, Elio's sitting up straight, Oliver's slumped down in his chair, still trying to project this arrogance and control, yet he is making small talk. Later in the film we have the dinner scene. Oliver's been staying with family for some time and it's obvious that his character is developing for the better. Visual analysation shows the blocking of the characters, with Oliver ahead on the bikes leading the way as a dominant man usually does. However, as the scene cuts to the family dinner, it becomes obvious that the authentic and revised masculinity of Oliver is shining through. He's no longer got his guard up. There's a big contrast between this and the first scene I talk about. Harry Benshaw and Sean Griffin have explained that it's quite rare for a filmmaker to successfully acknowledge the complexity of sexuality. Luca, the director, although he focuses on this desire and lust aspect, he still manages to consistently represent the slow burn of their relationship through focused shots on short glances between the two. He effectively presents to the audience that unfortunately it's not as straightforward for these two to follow how they feel. Finally, we've got the iconic monologue scene. The shot in the mirror shows both characters, but importantly we see Elio standing in front of his father, slumped over. He's not afraid to be seen in this vulnerable position by him. In blocking, we see them separately on the couch. They begin to talk, and over the shoulder shots we're shown sincere facial expressions. We see that it's only them in the conversation.
I think he was better than...
Soon, they're cuddling. It's never represented in a negative light, as this kind of vulnerability or emotion in men has been in the past. And so Luca effectively stresses to the audience how a healthy father-son relationship can be achieved. The dialogue is key in this scene. Although Oliver's not in this scene, it still shows us how he became so comfortable in his own skin.
Oliver made me very intelligent, but...
he was more than intelligent.
Perhaps this is true, but it is vital to note that Oliver learned more from Elio and even Mr. Perlman. He learned how to show emotion, lowered his guard, pull away from the conventional masculine male he only wanted to be. To conclude this video essay, I would like to suggest yet again that Oliver's not the conventionally masculine character he seemed to be when we first met him in Call Me By Your Name. His character development is impressive and admirable. As he gets closer to Elio, who as we know is a lot more comfortable in his masculinity thanks to his own father, he became more humane. He was able to speak about his feelings and show that he cared. That is not to say masculinity is a bad thing, but Oliver had what is called suffering masculinity, which is a great term to describe someone who's pretending to be someone they're not, all because they feel the need to conform or care what others think too much. Thank you so much for watching.